Hello, everyone, and welcome to Thursday Live Lessons. My name is Aldrine Guerrero. I'm joined by the other two musketeers, Mr. Aaron, the voice now. Nakamura. Say what's up, Aaron.
What's up?
Mr. Kahai, the legend Fergan. Say what's up, Kahai.
What's up?
So we are here, the three of us are here, and we are giving you some answers to your questions and how this works. This Thursday Live Lesson is a place where we like to take all those take all those questions and answer them as best as I can, and then we discuss it here. The other two dudes give me their 2 cents, and we come up with the best possible answer that we could give you, and that is that. So pretty much, thank you so much for watching this. If you are in UU Plus watching this as a video, and thank you so much if you're listening to this as a podcast, for those of you folks who have downloaded this as a podcast. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go right into it. Kahai, do you have any questions?
We didn't have any questions earlier. Like, we didn't get sent in email questions or anything. So if anybody in the chat has questions, be sure, go right ahead.
Right on, man. It's been a while since we had a quiet week. We're usually, we usually have a bunch of questions lined up, but today, I've been doing these private lessons for a while now here at Ukulele Underground, and I've been really enjoying them, just kind of seeing everyone at different levels, at different paces and stuff. And some people just kind of want to learn some of the basics, and they're kind of happy with that, just like having me just kind of peek into to their progress, and giving them some ideas and giving them some advice on where to go next. And we have some people who are also like really good already, and they just kind of need some guidance on what to do next. And we also have people like guitar players who kind of come in and they know their way around a guitar, but then when they handle ukuleles, it seems so foreign. So what I wanted to kind of talk about was I wanted to talk about some of the most asked questions that I get in the private lessons.
So can you say like how private lessons work?
Okay, yeah. So private lessons here at Ukulele Underground work like this. You can basically go to this is like a calendar and stuff, like to the
So if you have a UU Plus membership, you just sign in. And then there's like a big orange banner, and you just click on that
banner.
Yeah,
and then you can sign up for a private lesson. I usually do it on Mondays and Fridays. So Mondays Hawaii time, I do it from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And on Fridays I do it from, I believe, was at 2:15 p.m. to about 4 p.m. So there's small windows in a couple days every week that I have.
So if you check out the calendar, it'll show you like what slots are open still, and then you can book a private lesson directly with Aldrine if you have a UU Plus.
You just click on the date, right?
And it'll show you what
times are available. Open. Yeah, so you can book up to 2 times a month, and it's been really cool because we've been doing this for a while now, for at least like maybe half a year almost now, or maybe am I mistaken? About half a year. And it's nice to see like familiar faces coming in. I always see people like coming back because you can book twice a month. So there's people that I see on a regular basis, and I usually tell people book one and then book another one in 2 weeks, so that at least you get one lesson or one private lesson, and you have 2 weeks to kind of work on what we talked about. I'll see you again in 2 weeks, and then you work on it for another 2 weeks, and by that time the month is over and you can book another one. And that's kind of the best way to do it. Some people want to kind of do it all at one time, and I strongly advise against doing that. They feel that like, well, if I sign up for 2 slots, that's like 30 minutes. So the 2 15-minute lessons with Aldrine Guerrero have 30 minutes. But the thing is, the 15-minute lessons work really well because you can kind of just show me what you're up to, and I can give you some feedback, I can give you some advice, and you can basically just go on your own and can do it. I can make the proper corrections, or if you have questions on something, I can answer them pretty much right away.
Have you ever had like lessons where it's like, either you felt it or like the person is just like, oh, if only we had 20 more minutes or whatever, or like, oh, I really need like a whole hour to spend with. It seems like most of them, it's just like you get through them pretty quickly.
Yeah, so not really. I don't really ever feel that way, because I feel that with Ukulele Underground we have so much resources here that like there is no need for like the long format lessons during private time. So private time, like I can just give you like watch this and this, instead of like me going in depth and like trying to explain it. Like there's videos that I can now refer to, like, and it's just on the site. You check it out, you work on it, and and if there's something that confuses you, in 2 weeks you'll see me again. Be like, okay, well, this part I didn't really get, or can you explain this part a little bit better? And I'm like, sure. So I explain it. That usually takes like a couple minutes, so there's really no, it's tough. And I like to encourage people to kind of try it out for themselves first, to kind of explore that technique, or explore that thing that that you want to learn about, and then ask me questions. Because we could have like a 2-hour seminar on swimming and stuff, and if you've never swam before, it's like I'm just giving you a lecture 2 hours on swimming and what you need to do when you swim. But unless you actually go in the water and try out swimming for yourself, that's after that, then you ask the questions like, okay, so I was paddling this way, and so you wouldn't have those questions unless you go jump in the water.
But they also don't need to, if somebody books a private lesson, it doesn't need to be about like a very specific topic, right?
No.
They can't just be like, oh, can you check out how I'm doing?
Yes.
And give me feedback.
Yeah, so a lot of people also have that mistake of like, oh, I'm not ready to have my, to have my lesson with Aldrine because I feel like I'm not good enough to take a lesson. No, that's the main reason why you should get a lesson.
Perfect time.
Yeah, because it's just, if you have no questions, no nothing, just show up to the lesson, be like, okay, well, let me play a song for you.
Or this is what I can do. These are the chords that I can hold.
And then I can give you feedback on that, and I'll tell you like, okay, well, you're doing great. How long have you been playing? And then from there, I can be like, okay, well, this person's been playing for this amount of time, and this is what they can do. So like either, oh, you're doing really good, just keep doing what you're doing, or like, okay, so here's a few things that you can try to make this better, or you're doing really good, so this you should be doing this, and this next. But all I am basically is a a person become kind of your guide. I just become your guide into Ukulele Underground. Sure, it's a private lesson, and and it is that in every sense of the word. But for the most part, it's just if you just like had a friend who was like who already kind of knew how to how to play ukulele, and you were to ask that friend like, hey, am I doing this? Like, am I doing this right? Does it look does it look funny to you? Can I do this better and stuff? And I can come in and be like, oh, maybe try this a little bit, or bend your fingers this way, or maybe that way. And like, okay, fine, great. Because what that does is it allows you to kind of explore the ukulele on your own, and and whatever questions you may have, then that's what I can help you out with. But you're at least improving on your own, instead of me just like giving you all the answers and telling you telling you what you should do. Because sometimes I've had and not in the private lessons recently and stuff, but I've had private students in the past, like a bunch of years back when I used to do the private lessons via Skype. Just kind of this, like try this, and this, right? And they come back like the week after, they're like, oh, well, I didn't have time to do this, and this. And it's like, okay, well, you're here at your private lesson, and we can't really work on anything because, like you didn't do this, and this. I would have the same advice for you, just go on and go do this, and this. So it's great because you can book a private lesson with Ukulele Underground once you have something to like, to kind of to ask, or even if you don't have something to ask, be like, okay, how does this look,
A lot of times I hear you too, like you'll say like, oh, you're doing really good.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe check out these 3 songs, or check out like, and it's not necessarily like you need to follow these things, but you just give suggestions of like, I think you would like these songs to learn and practice, this fits your style, or this is kind of what you're looking for. So yeah, even that stuff, I think we get people who say like, oh, I just didn't know where to go to next.
Yeah.
And like we're all here like with emails, like, and we would be happy to say that, but you can also do that through a private lesson, right? Like, and get like direct feedback from you, like, on where to go next.
So so I don't know if you want to continue, but we have a few questions that just came in through the chat.
Okay, I'll just say one more thing, and just to kind of give another idea of how you can use the private lessons. Some of the people that have gone on the private lessons have UU Plus accounts, but then they kind of know what they're doing already. But what they do, which is I'm a huge fan of, is they want they give their private lesson time to their kids, like their like 3-4-year-old, or however 10, like 10-15-year-old, be like, okay, like sit down, here's Aldrine Guerrero, he'll teach you how to like how to play ukulele. And it's so sweet and it's so awesome. I love all the parents that like, okay, like it's time for a private lesson, so like at the cost of like your monthly your like monthly subscription, like 25 bucks a month, you get like 2 private lessons for your kids. Like it's it's insane. Like that, I never even thought of that. You know, like
but
of
people
doing
have
something
been
that.
using it that
That's
way,
a
and
lot. I mean,
it's-
you'd be
yeah.
surprised how much people like kind of come in and be like, "Oh, that's right." You know, like my kid is gonna take my time. You know, this. I'm like, that's great. Fine,
Yeah.
you know, 15 minutes. So even if it's not you, I think some parents don't even like play the uke. Like they get the subscription so that they can give their kids, you know, the lessons and stuff. And
Makes sense.
I'm a huge fan. So for those of you guys who are like, I don't know, you know, if I'll use that private lesson thing, you know, if you want to take advantage of it for your kids or for your friend or for your wife or for your grandpa or your dad or something, your mom, anything, it's, you know, it's your time. Like with me, I'm giving you that 15 minutes of us just kind of sitting down one-on-one, like, you know, private Skype
Figuring
or
out
whatever,
where you
figuring
should
out
go
stuff.
next, and things
So
that you can do.
you know, I just wanted to sneak that in real quick because I love that. I have a bunch of kids now that I've been kind of teaching, and it reminds me back of like the Songs Made Easy. So I'm just kind of like doing the Songs Made Easy stuff, but like, you know, with the kids watching, and we just kind of like play together. It's awesome. Like I've been having a blast like teaching some of these kids.
The one thing too that like we want to make sure people get is when they book their time, mark it on your calendar so you remember. We get some people who are like, "Oh, I forgot," or whatever.
And
then also remember that it's Hawaii
listed
time.
in Hawaii.
Yeah,
time.
it's Hawaii time. Also, once you book the thing, I know I have to go and kind of approve it and stuff. Sometimes it takes me a day or two to approve things because that's when I go back to the office. So I get a lot of like requests on the weekends, and I don't come back to the office until Monday, so I don't get to approve them until I sit down for the lessons on Monday and approve everything. So some people wanted to like say sign up for the Monday private lesson, but then they didn't get their stuff approved yet, so they didn't know if they had it. So as soon as you book something, that pretty much holds it in place for you. Like nobody else can book that spot, so you can guarantee that you're gonna get that spot, that I will be there, even if it's not approved or anything. I should be there at that time because I'm here anyway, you know, and no one else can sign up for it. So you know, it's yours. It's your time.
Even if it's not
approved, just, you know, like mark it in your calendar. I will be there.
We also understand like sometimes you book stuff and then like things just come up, right? Like you have to take care.
Cancel. Yeah.
So just email us. Like email you can email us questions at Ukulele Underground.
Yeah, so email us questions because we're not gonna do FaceTime, so that's a big thing. I'm gonna stop the FaceTime because a lot of people sign up for FaceTime, but we get like a lot of issues using FaceTime. And when I used to kind of like call people on FaceTime, it would go like on their iPhones and stuff, and if they canceled or something because they had something to do or they had to go to work, like I don't know that. If you don't email me, I don't know, and I'll call that number at that time. So they might be like at a meeting in the workplace, and it's like, "What are you doing?" I'll drink grab a like
yeah. So just through Skype, and we also have like
Zoom room. So Zoom room works really good. So if you guys want to book stuff on the Zoom room, that, you know, that's awesome. And Skype's always, you know, pretty reliable. I know the quality sometimes kind of goes down and stuff, but Skype is always there. So we're gonna stop FaceTime, and you can just book stuff via Skype. Okay, so sorry, what were you gonna say? Question from the audience.
So there's maybe about 3 questions that came in just because we were asking. So this one, Pikachu says, I want to get better, and I've been trying to listen. I've been trying to listen to chords by ear, but I really just want to find the chords and move forward with the song. so I guess
Okay. You know, it's the answer is always going to be the more you do it, the better. You know, the better you be at it and stuff. And like, because the more you do it, the more you'll recognize like what that chord sounds like. The more you play your ukulele, the more you're gonna recognize what that chord sounds like. I mean, I hear the C chord in my dreams like sometimes, because I'm like, that's the most played chord that I play, the C and G basically. You know? So I know what a G chord sounds like. I know what a C chord sounds like. If somebody were to go like this and go, I'm like, oh, that's unmistakably like a C chord. That's a G chord, you know. So if I listen to a song and stuff, if you guys have been following the challenge videos, I'll hear something, and one of the first notes that I'll go to is C.
Just because check it.
Yeah, just to check it. And it's, you know, it's not that bad because it's my it's kind of my point of reference. So if I play this note against whatever, you know, the song is, it's gonna tell me whether it's higher or lower. So is it below a C or above a C? And that's kind of how how I figure stuff out. So if you're having a hard time figuring out chords by ear, the trick is sometimes is to not figure out the chords. Figure out the notes first, because the notes will tell you what key you're in, and the key will tell you what chords are in that key. Therefore, you get the chords then. So if you're approaching it with the chords already in mind, like you're trying to, figure out what chord that is, it might be harder than if you were to use individual notes and then figuring out which key that those notes belong to, and then which chords are in that key. So that's what I would suggest, is to do, individual notes first.
A lot of times too, if you hear like a melody line and you hear like one note repeating itself and it's the same chord, it's usually the root note of the chord. They're like repeating itself because it's like such an important note in the chord.
And if it's like super dominant, like that's most likely going to be the one, the one chord or one note of the scale or the key. And I don't know, it hasn't aired yet, but like the latest challenge video that we did, I heard that riff and I was like, that's a really cool riff that's that's there, and almost immediately I'm
work
like,
at that
work at that.
I think even wasn't even full too. You started picking first.
That's true. Like, with
chords.
Fool. That Cave Town song. And as soon as he strummed his uke, and I'm like, oh, that's like a C or something.
It's close.
Yeah, it's pretty close because or something like that, right? So it's like in C sharp. So I'm like, so that first chord that he hit, I'm like, I know that one. I think I know that. And then I play the C, and then I raise it up. Like, oh, that's it. That's it. It's in it's in C sharp. Or if I would just go like this, and then once I hit that, I'm like, dum, 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 dum. And then that's how I got it. So if you guys check out the challenge videos that we've been doing lately, it'll give you an idea on how to figure out songs by ear.
And then most popular songs, or like even not super popular, but most songs have the chords online nowadays. So if you really want to practice your ear training, you just like listen to the song, try to figure it out first, and then once you get stuck, start searching for the chords, and then see if you were correct. And that's
or
like,
if you're close,
that's always helpful. If you're getting frustrated, then you just stop and look up the chords already. Like, it doesn't wouldn't make sense to just like plug away at it. But the more times that you do that process, the better you'll get, and the further along you'll get along in songs.
I mean, I'm gonna have to be honest and stuff. I haven't actually like listened and learned stuff by ear in a while. I'm usually kind of just lazy. I just like pop, what's the chords, and I'll play it. So it's
unless it doesn't like it doesn't show up or something like that.
Or once you find the chords, though, it's not like you just go solely on the chords too. You usually cross-reference to make sure
it's okay, or it's in the right key. Because sometimes like people get those chords wrong, and like
I think a lot of times,
a
lot of times
they don't sound right.
Even like it might be,
time, I think.
It might be like mostly correct, right? The chord sheet or whatever. But then sometimes it's like one or two chords.
That might not sound.
It's like, that is obviously not the chord.
That's why it's like Fool version 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fool the real kind chords for reals this time. Kind chords. It's like.
So that's why it's always like important to kind of train your own ear and hear what you hear, because what somebody might hear might not be what you hear, and whether or not that's correct or not, it's
good practice. Like I said, I have to admit that I haven't been doing it lately, but with these challenge videos and stuff, it's kind of getting me back into like figuring stuff out, and I forgot how much fun it was, like to just kind of sit down and like, oh, I got it, this is the chord, and it's just so satisfying,
once you get it
it's
like, oh, I did that.
It's like I scratched that itch that's just so like, what is that? And I think on that first, on that Megalovania, I'm like, what is that picking? Like, and then I finally got it and just had to like put my head down. I'm like, I can't believe it was that easy.
It was that,
and I couldn't like figure it out, but it's satisfying.
I'm pretty glad that I started learning guitar. Like tabs were a thing, but then like for the music that I would want to find, if I looked up Megalovania when I was learning guitar, it's like nobody would post that, So I was forced to learn by ear, and that is like such a good practice, because you are gonna hit like a song or hit something that's nobody's done before.
Not available.
And a lot of times, like that's where we get the message, right? Like, I've been looking. Can't you guys just do a lesson for it?
Yeah.
And then I was like, or I'll message some people back and be like, oh, I looked it up and it's these chords, or this is what I hear. And a lot of times it's like not super hard. It's like basic chords. It's just that they feel like they could never figure it out with their own hearing, right?
Yeah, and sometimes that might be the case. So sometimes like there's just some songs that are like super difficult for someone who's just started playing, or even if you played for a couple years and stuff. I remember. Okay, so if I played in 7th grade, 9th grade year, I wasn't like figuring out everything, like a couple years in. And that was me like intensively practicing for like hours at a time, and I still wasn't able to kind of get some stuff.
Or even like you'd hear a song and be like, these chords are close enough, and then you just play it that way.
I remember I was already maybe like a junior or senior in high school, so I've been playing for a while, like 3-4 years at that point. And there was a song that Jake came out with called Ehime Maru. There was like this like fishing vessel thing that like that sang, I think, by the coast of Japan, and he made a song about it. And there was no video that I could watch for reference as to what he was playing, and I'm like, I can figure out maybe up to this point, but there's a part in that I'm like, I don't know what that chord is, but it kind of sounds like this. I know that's not it, but I'll just play that. I'll just play that instead. Yeah. And until I go to watch him live, and I just make my own video, and I just watch over and over again. Yeah. And it's fun though. And in that sense, you want it to come as close as possible, even if it's not like the chord itself. If it's passable, it's good enough. And there's a sense of pride to that too, that you figured out that much, or that you figured out, your own version of it, like, so to speak. And you're just like, man, this is a big accomplishment, because this song was like super hard, or like I've really wanted to learn this song and stuff. So it's cool. It's kind of like climbing mountains almost. Like musical mountains.
Other people might have climbed that mountain, but I climbed
I climbed it is. It's fun. I like it a lot.
Well, I think like it's just like a level of, and it's not wrong, like climbing a mountain using a rope. It's like, that's, nobody's gonna be like, oh, you cheated. Use the rope.
You still got to the top.
But like in some ways, like climbing without a rope, or like they call it like free climbing or free solo. Like people climb just straight up. But like, and those people, if you hear them talk about it, they say it's like puzzle solving. Like you come to a point where it's like you just need to figure it out. And a rope would be easier. It's just like, I'm just gonna use a rope. But at that point, it's like, oh, I like that it's put me in this tough situation.
I like that the new challenge videos is like, climb this mountain in 1 hour.
In 1 hour.
Like, I better start climbing. Can I have ropes? Nope. Dang it.
So he added on to that, like Pikachu, he said, it isn't that hard for popular songs, but I find it hard to hear less common chords like in jazz songs, for example.
Oh yeah. I mean, unless you...
But that's just kind of the level that you're at.
Yeah, so... that's what we were talking about earlier,
And I think we even talked about this before, right? You can still find the major and minor chords. Like that's
something that comes close at least.
Yeah, and it's like you might not get the add 9 or flat whatever.
Yeah, don't feel bad, because I probably can't do that either. Yeah, that's why I have like fake books and stuff, or real books. It's just because I need to.
It's hard to hear, especially if the song has other instruments blended in there with it. It's hard to figure out what the voicing would be.
And a lot of those jazz chords are kind of like so in between, like a major and a minor chord, that you can't hear like both. Almost.
And there's a lot of passing chords too. So like they might be on one chord for just 1 second, and then the next beat they're like at another chord, which leads to the next one. But you could probably play that first chord, for like a few beats until he switches, but then he's switching, the chords in between, and that makes it a little bit tougher. So don't feel bad, because I've been playing for decades and I still can't do that. I'm not able to grimace, not grimace.
I think what you could try to do is like find the outline first, right? Like find the big picture, and then you get more detailed. It's like, oh, I'm finding the passing chords, and I'm finding this. So.
Abel Lagrimas. Abel Lagrimas.
He's a fun guy.
He's really
hilarious.
He's awesome. We're big Abe fans.
Yeah, he was just on Kauai, so we were hanging out with him.
Went to a karaoke night with him. It was a lot of fun. Let's just say it was
a lot of fun.
It was when Ben was here. So Ben Anderson, we had him up. I think it was that night. Yeah. Was that night? No, the night after. No, yeah, it was that night. It was Thursday. Yeah, it was Thursday.
Yeah, so Ben Anderson was here on the podcast, and then that night we met up with Abe Lagrimas.
Yeah, because Abe was playing for the All Angels Jazz Fest here in Kauai and stuff, and it was just nice because I guess Ben wanted to go see Abe anyway, and it was good times. It's a bunch of ukulele players having a innocent, good time. Karaoke, karaoke night.
Was Mike there? Too?
Yes. Oh, that's right. All the Thursday celebrities. Thursday Live Lesson celebrities. All right, so
so next question. This is Luo. He's kind of a tall guy, plays a tenor. Okay. And then finds that when I play open chords, the head of the ukulele often drops. How can I fix this?
I would have to. That's one of those things I would have to see. So if open chords, I'm guessing like C and things like that. If you're standing up, no strap and stuff, if you're kind of holding on to it, just make sure that you have points of contact to keep your ukulele in place. So if you want to go over that that stuff, I hate to say ukulele 100, but because that might be a little bit easy, like too easy for you. But if you really want to a refresher on how to how to hold your ukulele 100 is going to be it. Also, you can check out Songs Made Easy, some of that stuff I kind of go over, and a lot of that is in C, a lot of that is in open chords and stuff, and I give suggestions on how to hold those chords and how to kind of play them efficiently. So quickly though, one of the things you can do to make sure that you're that the headstock doesn't fall or anything is to have points of contact. For myself, I like to use the big knuckle, and I like to kind of keep that down here. That by itself, should keep my ukulele from falling. So if you're playing C, for example, and if it's down here and there's nothing else protecting it, or if it's just your thumb kind of holding it in the back, there's nothing holding it from the bottom, which is gonna kind of keep it up. So that's why this big big knuckle that I have on my pointer finger on the side like this. So see on the side of my knuckle, I'm gonna put it down here like this. See that? And I kind of just roll back and forth using this. I'm gonna bend so you can see where the knuckle is. Use that. So if I play C, I use that. This is a point of contact. You can kind of see there. This is where I'm kind of holding it. I'll do it like this so you can see. So here it's kind of being held here, and then C chord. I'll take this pointer finger down try to show. I mean, don't do this. I'm just trying to get my pointer finger away so you can see it. Yeah, but basically, it's this is what it's gonna look like. Maybe if I do it from this angle, you can see it better too. So here, see that knuckle. So here's the knuckle. Put it down here, and that can use to kind of roll, and that'll support your ukulele from the bottom, so it doesn't fall like you were saying. And the ring finger there, even A minor, or F, even if it's just an open A minor 7 chord. I'm using that.
Kind of all that all the open chords can use that.
Okay, so I'm not gonna rest it on my thigh. I'm just gonna hold it like this so we get an authentic, I'm trying to play some open stuff, but here. And the second one, if you still need a little bit, like how I do sometimes, this knuckle on your thumb. So the knuckle that's on the thumb itself, not this one where your pointer finger, on your pointer finger, the middle knuckle right here. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna hook that up here. I'm gonna get it from this angle. Yeah. So hook it up from there, and then bam, down here at the bottom. I can let go of the of the uke, and Just rest it on my thigh. It's not gonna go down anywhere. I can play my C chord, G, A minor chord, F. It stays in place. So if you wanna, kind of look into learning a little bit more about that, Songs Made Easy and Ukulele 100, because that's just basic like holding your uke stuff.
You pretty much always want at least like
one point of contact.
Yeah, one or two.
We call like that first knuckle, the one way you're holding it, we call that the pillow.
Yeah.
But then you also can use like the rest of just like
this up here. Yeah.
The palm of your hand.
Like, so if you're playing chords like E minor, like I like to use that for E minor. So some people, like, oh, if I'm using my pointer finger knuckle to hold that, because you're still using the knuckle like right here. But then what I'm doing to kind of help it is use the other knuckles I have as well. I'm just kind of rest it there and go this way. And I'm kind of just gripping it like so.
Even, like, I find for, like, even bar chords, like, I'm resting some of the bottom of the neck on, like, just on this part of my palm, at least somewhat.
Bar chord. So bar chord, you can kind of do a balancing act. So, you can either, use the thumb that was kind of up here. You can use that, and then their pointer finger that's, that's kind of holding the chord this way. You can hold it that way, or you can use, this knuckle part on your pinky finger to kind of help support it. You can do that as well. I do that sometimes.
Especially if you're like switching chords, you just.
See, there's always some kind of contact there. So that's the B minor, and I'm using that pinky here. And then using the thumb and the pointer finger. And when I switched, I anchored on my that knuckle, the pointer finger knuckle, played the E7 chord.
Yeah. So it all just kind of depends on the chord that you're holding, and as long as it's comfortable, but just don't let go. Yeah, just don't take your hand completely away from the ukulele. So.
See, like this.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. So yeah.
But yeah, so good luck with that, and just keep that in mind. Yeah, always have some some kind of contact with the uke.
They said that they'll book a 1-on-1.
Oh yeah, like, please.
Yeah. Should be able.
Speaking of private lessons.
All right, so there was another one.
Alex.
Do you have it up?
Yep.
Alex.
So he said, I cannot get harmonics to even sound on my ukulele. Do you need amplification for that to work well, or perhaps a better uke? In other words, do harmonics work on a plain regular ukulele?
Like non-amplified ukulele?
Yeah, they should work on pretty much any ukulele. The trick to harmonics is to hit the hit the frets in front. So for example, the best harmonics you're gonna get is on the 12th fret. And if this is the 12th fret, the fret wire that's in front is going to be this one right here. So the two dots are where the 12 is. So this fret wire right here is what you want to aim for. You're not aiming for the dots. You're aiming for this wire. So if you're aiming for that wire, so I'll show you. So here it is where the dots are. Maybe I'll do it from this angle so you can see. That's where the dots are. See that? I'm barely gonna get it. But if I hit it more closer here, look how much louder that is.
I can, and you do have your ukulele plugged in, but I can turn that off too.
Yeah. So could you kind of go over what harmonics, like what is the process of...
Okay, so harmonics and how you play them is basically like, coming, it's like a chime, it's a chime on your ukulele. You get these kind of bell tones. And they're the loudest on 12, then 7, and then 5. Okay.
But like progressively softer.
Yeah, progressively
in
softer because it's harder. It's that 12th fret is going to be like the halfway point, between the top part of your ukulele where the nut is and the bottom part where the where the saddle is. That is the halfway point, and that's why it's going to be the loudest right there, because you're cutting that that string right in half, and you're getting the most movement, you're getting the most like vibrations right here in the middle. If you go, you can still get it like further up, but the further up that you go, the the less the top part gets, so it's harder to get a good sound. So you're gonna get the best sound right here at 12. And how do you do that? you place, like a the skin part. So skin part of my finger. You can use your pointer, middle, ring, pinky, whichever one doesn't matter.
Super lightly.
Yeah. Just like kind of kiss the strings almost. Just kiss the string. Pick that pick that string with your right hand and then immediately like go like this.
Yeah, if you letting go is important too, because if you don't, it mutes it.
Yeah. So imagine like just kissing something. You're going like, mwah. That's it. Like that's honestly
really,
what it's
really quickly. Yeah.
Like mwah, 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 mwah. Like that's what it is.
So you're not pressing down on the string.
No, you're not pressing down on the string. You're just kissing it with your with your finger.
Just the pad of the finger, not
because if you press on it, that's like you're forcing that kiss, on that baby or something. I'm thinking of kissing my baby.
Yeah,
like,
and then also like what you said earlier,
you don't plant the kiss.
It's not on in between the fret wires. It's right on the fret wire.
Right on the fret wire. Yeah. So you can see it once again. I'll try it on on in the middle where the where
12th fret. So you're doing A string 12th fret.
A string 12th fret
doesn't work.
That's where it is on the dot. But if I go a little bit further down here,
but A string fret 12th fret wire.
Yeah, 12th fret wire.
Yeah, works better.
You can't.
You have to have it perfectly placed, and then you have to have the perfect release. Too. So
just like making little kisses, little butterfly kisses on the strings. Baby's cheese, go mwah. That's it.
I think the hardest part that people who are new to harmonics have is that like releasing, right? Like because you're it's a timing part of like pick and release, pick release. Like it really needs to be on it.
So it's like
almost at the same time.
Yeah, if I'm lifting up my ring finger, my thumb kind of goes down like this. See that? So boom. So as soon as my thumb hits it, goes down, my ring finger goes down. It's a timing. The timing is crucial, and that's why like on Fridays and stuff, a lot of the times if we do like kind of the end of a phrase, I'll hit that like that G harmonic or the G12 fret harmonic, and sometimes I hit it, sometimes I don't because it's like kind of so fast. Like I have to kind of like hit that in there.
We just did a song like this past Friday, and then the first time you went through. It's like nope. And then the second time you're like, got it that time. You actually said like, got it that time.
It's like, I mean, I'm I wasn't a good skateboarder, but I used to skateboard back in the day and stuff. And I could kind of ollie, I could kind of do stuff, and it's kind of like that same feeling for me, like on ukulele. It's like, I landed it. I say that too. I say I landed it because old habits don't, they die die hard, but. To me it's like little tricks because that's what it is. It's a trick on ukulele. It adds like just little, like if I'm gonna use kissing, it's just kissing the notes a little bit, just adding little like sprinkles of sunshine in that song. And as a skateboarder, it's like it's a trick. It's like, okay, I gotta land this trick because if I don't land it, I'm in front of an audience. The audience is gonna see me not land this trick. It's gonna be embarrassing.
It can be a little bit harder if you have like a soprano, right? Like a shorter length ukulele, because just getting the precise area of where to hit the harmonics, where to touch, can be like a little bit more tricky, but not too bad.
Not really. Like there's do you have your uke? Maybe let's try it on the tiny, like the Andes uke that you have.
It's missing one string.
Let's see it. Like, because if we can do harmonics on that thing, then that means you can do harmonics on any uke, right? That should be it. Okay, let's see it. We can do harmonics on the E, maybe.
I don't know if it's tuned or if it's intonated, but
well, it doesn't.
You can figure out where.
Let's get one on the G. So the
right there,
it might be hard to hear, but it is there.
Let's see if we.
Right there. Yeah.
Oh, I found it.
Yeah.
There it is. So it doesn't matter like what kind of ukulele you have, how small you're tiny. This is a tiny ukulele.
But
I don't know if it's a tune or not.
Yeah, it's not tuned, but I haven't tuned it in a while.
Oh, that's what it was. I was like, what's making that noise?
Yeah.
It's this. Let's see. It's cute. Where'd you get this, Aaron? Tell the people that, because I'm sure people are like, oh man, where'd you get that?
It's a guy, Andy Miles from the UK. He makes those.
I can't do it.
It's like a piccolo uke.
I like that on one of the Friday concerts that you played it. Andy was like, I made that.
Yeah,
that's the one I made.
Yeah.
It's featured on the site, I think.
Pretty cool.
Like me playing a song on this.
In fact, Ben Anderson, who we were talking about earlier, he has one.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the UK UK ukulele scene or tied to the UK ukulele scene have one just because you have to. Like,
it's awesome. Those things are great.
Yeah, and that's the first place that I saw it. Right, we were hanging out with Mike.
Yeah. Mike had one. Mike Hind.
Yeah,
so it's
Uncle
cool.
Elvis or Mike Hind.
Yeah. So you can do, if you can do harmonics on that, you can basically do harmonics on anything.
It
doesn't really matter. Yeah.
You do need to be like more precise.
Yes. It's a little bit harder, but it's possible. And it sounds pretty good actually. Like the once you hit it, it's clear. It's still kind of
it still comes out clear.
Yeah. So you just gotta find it. It's a little bit tough with those tiny frets, but once you find that fret wire.
Yeah. And then that's kind of why too the 12th fret is the easiest. Like when you get closer to.
Oh yeah, forget it. Like if I were to do it in that 5th fret and stuff, forget it.
Yeah, it's harder and harder on the.
So Pikachu asked, could you talk about playing harmonics anywhere and artificial harmonics? I'm guessing.
Okay. So the reason why it works on that, on that 12th fret, the fret wire, is because the fret wires are honestly like where the string gets separated anyway. So if you were to hold, say for example, A string 3rd fret, you're not holding that string right there.
Well,
you're holding that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you are. But that string is being cut right here. Is being pressed down.
Yeah.
So it's being separated right here where the fret wire is. So on the 12th fret, if you hit on the fret wire, that's why it's that much louder in there. So based on the fact that we get the loudest on the 12th fret, we can keep that math of 12. So if we were to play A string 3rd fret, for example, so 12 from there to here would be right here. So if I were to hit that, what I'm doing is my pointer finger is doing the job that my left hand did, and then my thumb is still kind of hitting it on
hitting the string. Yeah.
So
this is like artificial harmonics.
Artificial harmonics, because you're creating the halfway point. So this is still the halfway point. So if you move it down here, that means that halfway point has to move here also.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kind of kiss it with my pointer finger, thumb goes down. And once you kind of grasp this idea, you can move it all the way to wherever you want to. So that's what artificial harmonics are. It's like trying to artificially creating the halfway point on that string.
Yeah.
I know you like Florence and the Machine, so
you can even do it like past where the fret ends, right? Or like where the neck. Like,
For example, if you're here in the E or the G,
you gotta kind of guess though.
So that would be the halfway point right there. You kind of have to guess like where they would put like a fret for the G here, but yeah.
Yeah. And then
Yeah, but that's like a whole nother level
that's
of
that's a whole other thing.
Control that you have to have.
You know how I learned that? Went to a Borders performance with Jake. Just videotaped it. I got you now.
Talking about videotaping.
I got you now. Artificial harmonics. Because he did it. I remember not on any of the Pure Heart albums and stuff. Oh no, Pure Heart album. So on Kokee, he was doing this line of and he was doing it as I say chimes, but it's a harmonic. So I would get that first note, which would be E, and I'm like, how does he do harmonics in all of it? That's kind of what he did. Is like he did this harmonics. I'm like,
yeah.
Jake.
I mean, who else was anybody else doing that on ukulele?
Not on uke. Not that I know. On uke. If Troy Fernandez didn't do it, then that means no one did.
Probably not. Yeah. So like, what I guess he was just studying guitar players, or what was he?
That's what and that's how he got like the tapping stuff.
The tapping.
Yeah.
He
he looked at a lot of guitar players like what is his name? Why am I blanking out on guitar players right now? Van Halen. He was looking at Van Halen. He was looking at that eruption solo and stuff. So one of the first things that he taught me in tapping was the eruption solo, and I was like, it's gonna be kind of hard. I was like, no, it's just you're doing D minor, C, B flat, A. So like spelling out D minor, and then C, and then B flat, and then A.
Just the notes in those.
The notes, so D, F, A would be D minor. Then C, E, G would be C. Then B flat, D, F would be that B flat chord, and A, C sharp, E would be that A. And that's like the Van Halen eruption solo. So you're like, I can rock on my uke.
Anticlimactic.
Whatever that's. And he was he's looking at other people like who was the guy who taught who first started doing like that kind of tapping stuff. There was somebody who was doing it before. There's bald guy, guitar player.
Bald guy, guitar player.
He's one of the G3. I'm blanking out on names right now. Joe Satriani. So look at Joe Satriani. And that's the first time I heard the name Joe Satriani. He was like telling me, and I'm like, I gotta look up this guy named Joe Satriani. I'm like, oh man, this is so cool.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's so good. Surfing the Aliens, one of the best songs. Okay, so any other questions?
I think that was it. It was just mostly comments.
Okay, so going back to what we were talking about originally, there were some like pretty common questions that I would get on the private lessons. So some of the common questions is like, one of the top ones is, what do I do next? It's like that's as like simple as that question sounds like. You guys have no idea how many times, like I will guarantee hear it once, like every Monday or Friday. I'll have somebody come in like, I just want to know where to go next and stuff. And that's a great question for a private lesson, because you come up and you kind of show me like what you're doing, and from there I'm like, aha. So this needs a little bit of work. That's doing really good, and I know that you can do this. So at that point, just watching you play even just a few bars of of a song and stuff, I'll already kind of know that like, okay, this person needs to work on this. This person needs to work on this chord. This person's good at this chord. So you can try this song. You can try these songs. You can try this solo, and you can try this, this video and watch this video so that you can get better at this part. So at that, at that point, I can already like do that much for that person. I'll see that person again 2 weeks in, and that person will start to progress and stuff. Another question that that I get a lot is underneath that is mainly just right hand stuff. So like chunking and like rolls and stuff.
What are you gonna call it?
Chucking. I was like, what am I? Who am I? Who am I? Jackie Chan. So chunking, rolls, and just things like that. Like that's what a lot of people kind of have a hard time, not really a hard time with, but they just want clarification if they're doing it right. So a lot of the times is, am I doing it right? Yeah, maybe that's like the second most common question is, am I doing this right? And that's another great question for private lessons, because am I doing this right is a legit question to ask when someone's looking at what you're doing, you know? So it's
it kind of goes back to what we were talking about before too, right? Where it's like trying to figure out the chords by ear. It's like, that's good practice. Like trying to do it by yourself is good practice.
Yeah, but how close were you?
But if you're like, I just can't get chunking, right? Like then for sure,
chunking.
Chunking. Then just join like a private lesson, right? Like book a private lesson, and for like people think it's like impossible or like, oh, it must be me, or it's just like something that I can't do. Yeah. But usually it's just like, oh no,
it's
you
like
just
a simple, you know, like just adjust this thing, or like maybe just hit this a little bit. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how much times like I've heard you like go like rotate your wrist, and it's like, yep, there you got it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. There you go. We have my work here is done. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
we have like 10 more minutes. Do you
talk about cards? It's got these open up these fontaines.
Yep.
You know. Yeah. But yeah, it's usually like quick fixes, and some, you know, there is someone that's just like that. They're like that book the 2 in a row or something. And I'm like, oh, and I always go, hi, this person booked like 2 in a row. Like, I don't know.
Oh, to make a 30-minute
exactly,
lesson.
A 30-minute lesson.
Instead of 15.
And honestly, it's not a 30-minute lesson. It's a 40-minute lesson. Because, you know, it's that 5 minutes in between, you know? So it's actually a 35-minute
Usually
lesson.
Take 5 minutes in between.
Take 5 minutes in between each person, so I kind of set up the next phone call and stuff and get my mind set. So it's, because I can't really like, okay, I'll see you in 5 minutes, you know, like hang up and do it's kind of rude, so I'll just stay there for the 5 minutes. So some people kind of take advantage of it and get like that extra 5 minutes of private lesson.
Yeah.
But
most of the time their question is
the question's done in like
answered.
3-4 minutes. So it's like, so we'll just twiddle our thumbs for the next like 30.
Yeah, actually, there's kind of like an idea in education, just in regular like school education now, that they should be, instead of like assigning homework that you do at home, like the teacher should assign like the lecture for home, and then the kids do their homework in class, because then, you know, a live teacher can so like, that's kind of like I taught how to do this trigonometry type of problem online, so for homework just watch that.
Yeah,
and then when we come into class, we have the worksheet for homework, and if you have any questions while you're doing it, I'll answer it, and that makes a lot more sense.
That makes sense. So kind of like this, we're like, oh, go try it out for yourself first.
Yeah, and watch the videos and stuff like that. If you have any questions, come into live coaching, and then
that's what Mike said, right? Like he said, maybe if you guys run into problems, maybe give it a week or so before you just immediately go, I can't do it. What's the answer?
I can't.
Teacher.
We like totally understand, like, you know, like you tried something and you're having a hard time, but sometimes it is just like, maybe you gotta try it first. Like that first step is like what you need.
And you know, there's no shame in like in coming up and be like, hey, am I doing this right? Like a lot of people kind of get shamed. They're like, oh, I don't want to show Aldrine how I play. I suck. It's like, that's why you're there. Like, you know, you're there because like, you know, you're having like a hard time with something, or you can't do something, you know, like that's
it's a safe environment to be like I just can't get this.
if I just get people that already know how to play it, and like I don't have to do anything, I just kind of sit there and go,
just applaud people.
Great. Keep doing whatever it is that you're doing. It's working, you know, like, and I'm just and I would just get a free show for 3 hours every Monday, you know. But no, it's the opposite of that. Like, I want to help people that need the help, you know. I love watching people in their progress and stuff, but I like helping people out more.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times, most of the times, people are underestimating themselves too. Like where when they come into private lesson, right, or one-on-one coaching, like they play and then you're actually like, oh, that was really good. Like you're already on the right track, you know. We just have to make like a few tiny adjustments here and there, and that's really it, you know. I've heard you say like at this point it's kind of like nitpicking like details.
A lot of, you know, a lot of people come, it's like, oh, you know, just I just need some feedback on how I'm doing. It's like, oh man, that's pretty good. But if I have to say something, if I have to tell you that like there's something you need to work on, it would be this. Don't get me wrong, that's doing well, and that's gonna, you know, and usually it's like, I know that looks kind of funny right now, but it'll like correct itself the more you do it. And I just kind of tell them that. But if you do want to correct it now, so this is what you can do. But I'm not worried about it.
Take Jake the dog's advice. You gotta suck at something. The sucking at something is the first step to getting kind of good at something.
Kind of good at something, yeah. So, Jake the dog, Adventure Time.
Yep. Oh, that's cool. So in the chat, Kevin said, I am a frustrated beginner and very socially anxious, and Aldrine's private lessons have kept me playing the uke.
Oh, cool.
So,
thank you.
So
thank
even
you, I've seen Kevin a few times.
Even with if you're kind of worried about your playing, it always kind of helps, you know, just to get some feedback and know
I'm
how
not
you're
Simon
doing.
Cowell. Like, you're not gonna play for me, and I'm like, nope, just terrible. You know, like I'm here to help. Like I'm here to like kind of encourage you and give you some direction.
We should buy you like a red button to put on your desk, so it's like during the private lesson or whatever.
Just stop.
Should we get the now? It's the whole thing is the golden buzzer, right?
Yeah,
we'll
go straight to Hollywood.
Okay,
but you know, or we should have like brutally honest Tuesdays. Like people just come in and no, that's counterproductive. It's just Kahai, like, you know, it's not even me like being brutally honest. Like they have to play for Kahai. Kahai's like, nope, it's terrible.
I think I don't know. Maybe I hope people don't feel that way, but because I feel like sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe I'm being like too nice on this person. Where I'm like, you're doing great, like keep doing it. You know, like I just want people to like playing, have fun playing. So.
Brutally honest Kahai Tuesdays. I'll go to that.
The only time I'm brutally honest is when you ask me something. Should we do something, Kai? I'm like, nope, we're not doing that.
Should we play this song? What's a song that you've said no to? Like lesson wise, you're like, that's not a good song. I know there's been tons. There's been tons of like, how about we do this? You're like, no, how about we don't do that? How about we don't do that one? I know there's a bunch that I've gone up to Aaron like, hey, maybe we can do this song for the lesson. Yeah, so don't worry, guys. I get turned down left and right, and it's like it's a process. I know last week we talked about this and like what is the process of like choosing songs and stuff. Like there's been a bunch that's that we're like, nah, we're not doing that.
We kind of go back and forth, right?
Yeah. So. We're not doing that one.
I also want to say that for everybody who, if we always suggest if you can book a private lesson or do one-on-one coaching, but then if people can't do either of those too, that's kind of what Thursday Live Lesson is for too. Like if you still
just ask your questions here,
and if you still want feedback too, like send in your videos and we'll, like just send in your videos saying like, oh, can you give me feedback on Thursday Live Lesson?
Yeah.
And then we'll like give you feedback and we can even like tell you when the replay is up.
Yeah. So what is the difference between one-on-one and private lessons, Kahai?
One-on-one is just like it's kind of like Skype where they can see you and you can see them. So it's like pretty direct. If you can see what they're doing, then you can just be like, oh, you need to do this or whatever. And our live lesson, if we do it the same way, it's just that we'll get your video early or something.
No, as in what is the difference between private lesson and a one-on-one coaching?
Private is exactly that. Like private is
me and you. Yeah. Sit down. We like work on stuff. Yeah.
And then one-on-one coaching is like
kind of like a classroom, but then one at a time, one person at a time. That's the one-on-one. It's like, okay, your turn.
It's like a conference call basically. So multiple people are in there. But then one person is talking at a time, and then you just take turns asking the question.
Whichever people. And so there's like plenty of opportunities to kind of interact with us. Not just me, you can interact with us because Ryan's on the one-on-one coaching. We're here on Thursdays and stuff, and I'm here Mondays and Fridays. So there's always ways that you can make contact with us or ask us questions.
There's also like I'll put it up on screen for people who are Uniplus members. There's also that like green chat icon too, So if you click on that, it's gonna be on screen. It should be on, on Ukulele Underground. Anytime you log into Ukulele Underground,
this button.
Yeah, if you
right there, that button.
you can message like any of us, you know, with questions, and we try to answer them as quickly as we can.
Yeah, we try to dedicate ourselves to make sure that you guys are getting the the attention that you need, really, just to move forward. Because if you're not moving forward, then that means we're not doing our job. So just reach out, and we'll help you as best as we can. We've tried to come up with as much as much as possible ways to be able to help you out, and yeah. we love it. Actually, I love coming into work like, oh, I got a full day today. I'm seeing this person. I remember that person, like, oh, and this person's gonna bring their kid. It's great. So yeah, by the way, to all of you parents out there and stuff, get your kids involved. It's awesome.
Yeah, we do have some families, right, like where the parents have UU Plus, and then they bring their kids to.
There's one parent that had like 2 girls that was like kind of sitting down and like taking.
And both of them at kind of at the same time.
Yeah, so it's cool. And then and we got guys, on the one-on-one coaching also, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
I actually see like parents in our UU Plus forums where like they know that the other person is a parent, and so they're like, oh, how's your kid doing?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, my kid is doing great,
Yeah.
So.
And even during one-on-one coaching, because it's like that conference call setting, like a lot of people see each other every week and they
see their progress.
Yeah. They know each other through that. So
like we also say too, even if you don't have a question for one-on-one coaching, or you feel like, I don't know what I'm gonna ask, like join anyways too, because a lot of people, like, you'll teach somebody else, right? And then you can kind of see like everybody else
trying it
try.
out.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, someone might be asking a question that you didn't know how to ask. Like you might have had the same question. You're like, I didn't know how to phrase it that way, but then this person, like phrase it. Or you probably had a question you didn't think, you couldn't think of it, at the time, and someone asked it, and you're like, hi, that's right.
I was thinking about doing something for live lesson, where making a forum post like every week or so.
Yeah.
And then just like if anybody has questions too during the week, like go there and just post it in the post a reply. Yeah. So like if you don't know where to go for questions too. Yeah. Like,
so there's always different ways to kind of get a hold of us, to ask us questions, to to get some feedback. There's all different, all sorts of ways and stuff. If like you're clicking on that button and it's like the weekend and we're not like, we're not replying as fast as we should, you can always book a private lesson. And I can't run anywhere, like I'm going to have to answer that question right then and there. Or the one-on-one, or the Thursday live. There's always many ways to reach us.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it for today's Thursday live lesson. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Aldrine. This is Aaron and Kahai. Stay tuned for, the aforementioned one-on-one coaching. And tomorrow we have private lessons. So if you haven't tried it out yet, go to UU Plus and sign up for a private lesson. And if you haven't signed up for UU Plus yet, what are you waiting for? Do you want to watch the show or what? Watch the show. Watch the show. Watch the show, because it's we showed the harmonic stuff, and there's lots more things you can learn by watching the the video part of this, or the video version of this this podcast.
You can sign up for a monthly subscription, get 2 weeks free, and even if you do that, you can still get private lessons too. So
that's right. Yeah.
It's like you
sign up for one price. Just try it out. Just try it out. And yeah, like I said, usually private lessons with with ukulele players, even like non-credited. Like if you go to, I know there's some like guitar centers that have like ukulele teachers that are basically guitar players that like try to teach ukulele, and those things cost like upwards to like $50, for 30 minutes, and it's insane. So get the 2 private lessons plus everything else on UU Plus, like $20-25 a month or something. It's a steal. So just try it out. You got nothing to lose, really, if you're just doing the trial, the free trial.
Yeah.
Go for it. Yeah, why not? Why not sign up for it? Sign up for UU Plus. This is Aldrine Guerrero. We'll see you guys next time, and see you tomorrow also for the Lower Friday Live Jam. Aloha.